Greetings, everyone. This is Cheryl, and I am back with another word for day 25 of our 31-day encouragement challenge. I don't know why that was so hard for me to get out, but thank you guys for rolling with me. Thank you for your support. Thank you for tuning in. Those who have liked the videos, I thank you who've added comments, and for those of you who have shared it with others, I thank you so much. And this channel is not about me. It's about it's about giving God what is due unto him. Everything that I do is for the upbuilding of God's kingdom. I can't take the credit for anything. It was only by his grace and mercy that he has allowed me to um, even begin this journey. This was, if I just must say, this was not something that I really was seeking out to do, but the Lord had placed it on my heart to begin a YouTube channel, to begin various things that I may be a vessel for Him, and that through my testimony and just through my studies, biblical studies, that I would be able to come on and share what I have learned, what He has taught me, what I've been through, in hopes that it would help you, in hopes that my testimony will be a blessing in your life. So I want to thank you because when I started out on this 31-day challenge, I did it to push myself. And in the beginning, I was asking God, Lord, do you want me to go on a fast? What is it that you want? And it came to me to do a 31-day encouragement challenge, that I needed to speak to his people just to encourage them. And as time went on, because at first I didn't think that I had it inside of me to come on every day for 31 days, to be honest with you, to give a word. Because whenever I have time, and sometimes, to be honest with you, I was like, I'm busy. I have so many other things that is going on. But in my life, I want to I want God to be well pleased with me. I want him to be pleased with my walk. I want him to be pleased with everything that I do. So in all things I do it to magnify him. I do it as an obedient servant to him. Whether it's just one person or several people. All this is is being done for the upbuilding of his kingdom. Because if it's just one, then that's a lot. So I want to thank you once again for coming on, listening to me as I share words of encouragement, as I share notable women in the Bible, that some of these women, you may see yourself through their story. Some of these women, you may know of other people who are going through some of the same things or have experienced the same things. But ultimately, these stories are being read, and the significance of their story is meant to help you, to encourage you on your journey with Christ. So today, you know, I was going to talk about Rachel and her story that is found in Genesis, the 30th chapter, the first through the eighth verse. But being that I've taken up so much time already, I am going to share my story with you, who I am. Many of you know me as Cheryl. Many of you may know me um, just from seeing me. You don't really know me, but you know of me. Many of you may have heard of me, and many of you know me through other people, or maybe something that you've heard, or however, or just seeing me come on and give you an encouraging word. But I am first and foremost a child of the Most High God. I am a mouthpiece for Him. I am His vessel. I am the mother of 4 sons. I am a widow. I am a daughter. I am a sister. I am a aunt. I am a niece. I am a cousin. I am a friend. I am a sister in Christ to many. I am a mentor. I am a life coach, an author. I am a motivational speaker. I am a CEO. I am a lot of things, but none of that doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is my walk with Christ and me being the best person that I know how to be. Me loving myself. And if I love myself, I can love everyone else the way God wants me to love. So, with that being said, we've been talking about notable women in the Bible and the things that they have gone through and the significance of their story. So let me just share with you. On September the 20, it was either the 21st or the 22nd of 2019. That day, I was preparing to go to Philadelphia to speak on my book, In the Arms of Jesus. And let me just tell you, In the Arms of Jesus, that was a book, or that is a book, that I did not see myself writing. I never considered myself a writer. Never thought that I would actually be a published author. But the Lord told me on numerous occasions that He wanted me to write a book. And how it started out was I started writing a devotional, and I was going to publish a devotional. And when I was halfway writing that devotional, the Lord said, "No, I want you to write about the things that you've gone through. I want you to write how I brought you out. I want you to write about everything that you went through, and I want you to be transparent." I kind of wrestled with that because I was the type of person who kind of like kept to myself a lot. I didn't have a huge circle. My circle has always been small. And I only allowed certain people in that actually knew me in my journey, the things that I was going through, I had gone through. So I began penning to paper the things that I had gone through in my life. And the things weren't so good. I had to recollect the things from childhood up until that current time. It made me go back in time to revisit a lot of things that I wanted to leave buried, things that I hadn't been totally healed from, and things that had caused me great pain. So as I began writing that book, along the way, the Lord was like, I need for you to go deeper. I need for you to share. I need for you to share things that that hurt you, so people can realize that what they are going through, the same as what you went through and how I helped you, that I will do the same for them. Everything that the Lord has blessed me to implement is out of my brokenness. So, like I was saying, with that book, it was out of my brokenness. A lot of people read the book and they could relate to it. They found themselves in some of those pages. It made them think, and they began to the Lord began to give them strength in what they were going through. For some people, they became upset over the book because they felt it wasn't the truth, but it was my truth. God knew, and I knew. And this is something that He wanted me to do. And I owed no explanation to anyone but to God. So, as I was saying, that was a huge step in my life, was writing that book. And I'm going to, let me see if I can get it. And this is the book, In the Arms of Jesus. So, still along the lines of my story, in September 2019, my husband, he up and left his family out of the blue for no apparent reason. On that day, it was supposed to be a very big day for me because I was invited to go out to Philadelphia to speak on my book, and just to speak to the people who was gathered there on selfishness or selflessness, taking yourself away. And that was the topic for that particular um, event that I was a part of. But on that day, as I was getting ready to go to Philadelphia, my husband gave me a sheet of paper and he told me to write down all the things he wanted me to take care of as if he wasn't there. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? It didn't come off like that because to me, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't, I couldn't fully grasp what he was asking at the time. And I was like, what do you mean? Here I am, I'm getting ready to go to an event. And he is springing this on me. And it's, you know how you can be blindsided by something? I was blindsided because I didn't see this coming. I didn't have any kind of cues to say it was leading up to this. yeah, we had issues going on in our marriage, but we never talked about going our separate ways as far as within this time span. We never talked about it. So he was adamant about making a list of the things that he wanted me he I wanted him to take care of. So I wrote on a piece of paper, since he was so adamant, I don't have a list because I'm not in agreement with this. And so I gave him this sheet of paper. And he was like, I'm serious. I'm serious. I want you to write it down. I didn't write the list because I said, um, how can you spring this on me when you know that I am getting ready? I'm in the process of going to speak to these people, about my book, and and I had a topic. So I left and I went to Philadelphia. On that ride, I remember calling a friend and I told her what happened. And she said, Cheryl, I know and I hear what you're saying, but God has a job for you. So I need for you to focus. I need for you to focus on what God is telling you to speak to these group of people that you're going to. After you finish, you come back and you sit down with your husband and you have that discussion. That was one of the most difficult things. How am I supposed to go speak to a group of women about conquering, overcoming, and I've been hit. It's like almost punch in the chest. So I went and I gave everything that I had in me to that group. Not even saying that my husband just told me he wanted to separate. So I had a cousin to come. She met me. She lived in New Jersey and she met me in Philadelphia. And she told me that she was going on her way to a fashion show, that she was a vendor in Atlantic City. So to take my mind off of things, I was like, "Well, can I come with you?" And so she was like, "Sure." So she made a phone call. She was able to get me a ticket, and I went with her because I didn't want to deal with what I had to face with back home. So I went there. I came back, and when I came back home, my husband had everything packed, all his clothes packed, and he was waiting for me as soon as I pulled up in the garage because he was already calling me like, "Are you coming home? Are you coming home?" So I went. When I got home, he packed up the car and he said he was leaving. And I was like, "What do you mean you're leaving?" I'm I'm asking him, "What is going on? Like, what is happening here?" I couldn't understand. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. So he left. He told me he was going to stay with his mother. So he left. The that fall he left like on that Saturday, just say that Sunday morning. So for 2 weeks he would come almost every day. He would come home every day, and he was almost like he didn't leave. He still was there washing, like washing his clothes, and I was still doing wifely duties. I would call and say, "Well, what do you want me to cook to so you can eat? What do you want to take for lunch?" I was packing his lunches, just doing everything that I knew how to do. And I said, well, whatever he's going through, it'll blow off and he will come back home. A month went by, 2 months went by. We finally, because he left me in September, in October, I remember one of our sons, he had recently had a knee surgery. And he called me from school and said he was in excruciating pain. So I told him, I said, well, if you're in so much pain, then you need to get to the emergency room. And so he was like, no, I will just wait until Monday morning because this was on a Friday. Friday evening. He said, well, I'll just wait until Monday morning and I will go to the doctor. But I know my son, and I was like, no, if he calls and says he is sick, he's in pain, then he must really be in pain. So I called my husband and I said, we need to go and take our son to the emergency room. So at first he didn't want to go. But eventually he was like, okay, I'll go with you. So we went. On our way coming back we had to take our son to emergency room after he was okay. On our way back, I asked him, are you ready to talk? Are you ready to tell me why you left? Because he at that point he had not given me a reason why he left. He just said he was unhappy. So as we are driving, he said, you don't want me. You don't want to be with me. I know you're not happy. And I said, who said I wasn't happy? I never told you I wasn't happy. So where are you getting this from? And he was like, you're just not happy. And I kept asking him, did I tell you that I say I wasn't happy? So we went back and forth. I begged and I pleaded for him to come home because I said, in my mind, I'm still like not able to understand his rationale for leaving because everything he's saying, it doesn't, like it didn't make any sense to me. So I begged and I said, well, the two of us, we did not come to this agreement for you to leave. You just up and left. We didn't talk about it. We didn't you never said anything to me of you being unhappy. You just up and left. And I was like, what did I do to deserve this? So he really didn't say anything. So here I am. I'm begging and pleading with my husband to come back home. And I said, when we get out this car, I'm not going to ask or beg you anymore. Because I said, well, let's go to counseling. And he was like, no, I don't want to go to counseling. And I said, well, just come back home until the end of the year. Because I'm thinking we have a son who is in 12th grade. This is so much, like I don't want him to have to deal with all of this stuff his last year. I said, you can just live in the basement until we can figure things out. And I say, if after the end of the year, you just, you have made that determination that you can't stay with me, then let's come up with a plan together, and you can leave. So he didn't say yes and he didn't say no. So here I am. I cried. He cried. After I was tired of begging and pleading with him, because for some reason his mind was made up. I took off my wedding ring and I gave it to him. And I was like, here you are. You don't want me no more. So here you are. Not even 2 months after that, I got a call saying that he passed away. It was like my heart shattered. I was in disbelief, just thinking like, am I in a dream? Is this even real? So I found out that he passed away. Here I am, left a single a single mother. With his death, I had to find so much strength because of the things that I had to endure. You know how ugly the death will bring out the ugly in people? It did. And to be honest, I can't blame it. I couldn't blame everything on his family because before he died, he told so many lies about me. Lies that I was cheating on him, lies that I didn't work. He was tired of taking care of me when I've always worked. I was even working at the time, still am working. It was almost like I was the worst person in the world. I was cheating, he said. I didn't work, almost like I didn't do anything. These lies circulated. I mean, circulated like wildflower. I mean, like a wildfire. And almost everyone started believing these lies. It was so many lies, I couldn't even believe myself. And a part of me didn't believe. I was like, there's no way. There's no way he was saying that stuff. There's no way. No way he was telling people all that stuff. And then I found out it was really true. He was telling people all those lies. Any and everyone that came in his path, I mean, even people from his past that I thought he didn't, I didn't know he associated with. He was telling those lies. But what could I do? I couldn't fight a dead man. I couldn't question him to ask him why you spreaded all these rumors about me, why you told all these lies to your family and everyone else. So it was understandable why they treated me the way they did. Knowing all along that I wasn't cheating on him, knowing all along that I took care of everything, knowing all along that I had a job. It was almost like I was self sufficient. I didn't really rely on him. I was so used to managing things myself. That affected me for so long. But during that time, God was working behind the scenes on me. He gave me the strength to endure, to face persecution, to face the lies, to face the betrayal, to face the rejection. I was rejected by almost all of his family. I was rejected by so many people. But I had to place my trust in God because I knew and He knew and He knows that I loved Him with all of my heart, all of my soul, and all of my being. I would do anything for Him with all His flaws and everything else. I was with Him for so long, for 25 years. We had our good times and we had our bad times. But I just couldn't understand how, or I didn't understand why things ended the way they did. I'm sharing this with you because in my brokenness, um, God has given me strength. In my brokenness, my test is turning into my testimony. In my brokenness, God is healing me. In my brokenness, God is restoring me. In my brokenness, God is teaching me how to love myself again. In my brokenness, He's having me to reach people that I wouldn't have been able to reach before. Now, I can say that it's a work in progress. I think about Him every day. Some days I'm mad and I'm angry. Some days I remember the good times. I wish I had that one last time to ask Him, did you ever love me? Did you ever care about me the way I loved and care about you? Because if you did, you would have never done the things that you did or said the things that you said. But I am here today because this is a part of my story. This is a part of the things that I've gone through. And it's making me into the woman of God that God is calling me into. I'm finding my purpose. I'm able to be a mentor and a coach to women who are broken. I'm able to give them advice. I'm able to help those who are going through relationships, who are suffering, who don't say a word to some people, to a lot of people. A lot of things they just harbor in the inside. But I am here to help them. Let the things that you go through make you and not break you. I pray that you will be strengthened in whatever you're going through or whatever you're coming out of. Be that voice, be that light. And no matter what people may say about you, I want you to know without a shadow of a doubt who you are and who God says you are. I want you to love yourself. I want you to take care of yourself because no one else will do it like you will. It's important for self care, self love. Love yourself. I'm learning to love myself in the skin that I'm in. I'm learning to love who God has created. I'm learning to love me in my flaws. I'm loving, I'm learning to love me for who I am and not for the labels that people put on me. I'm learning to love me and get back and get to that place where I'm satisfied with who I am. I am learning that no matter what no one else says, it doesn't matter as long as I know who I am. It doesn't matter how many people stand with me because if God be before me, who can be against me? I'm learning now more than anything else to lean and depend on Him because He is my strength in the time of storm. He is my strength in the good, in the bad. He blesses me each and every day. And I can't say that I meant to share that, but someone needs to hear it. Someone needs to hear this message. You're not alone. You're not alone. You're not the only one who is going through. You're not the only one who has been through something. But God is with you. If God be with you, who can be against you? God loves you so much. He loves me, He loves you. So I just want to say that I am a notable woman in this time. You are notable. We are notable women. This is Women's History Month. Let's celebrate each other. Let's celebrate each other in our uniqueness. Let's celebrate each other. Let's lift each other up. Let's stop tearing each other down. Let's love on one another. Let's be there for each other. I love you guys so very much. And I pray God's blessing upon your life. Until tomorrow, this is Be Inspired with Cheryl.